r/AskReddit. What will you never share with your so? My fries. I ordered the fries I wanted. There are no extras. Joey doesn't share food. I'm not even sorry. Facebook. Joint accounts are weird as hell. The real question is which one cheated or which one is abusively controlling. See, my parents have a joint one because I refuse to let them create separate ones. They do enough damage with just one. Two would be a horror show from my bro and I. I would post something on here, but my so and I are looking at this thread right now. Blink twice if you're in danger. Now tell us if you blinked. I'm pregnant and recently discovered that two small pale freckles on my torso are actually accessory nipples. This became apparent and indisputable when they grew, darkened and started lactating a tiny bit. They are still not huge, went from sesame seed sized to grain of rice sized, so it is not obvious unless you know what you are looking for. I know my husband either won't be able to handle it, or B, will handle it by never letting 6 hours go by for the rest of my life without laughing hysterically in my face about this. Therefore, I will never tell him. I have a friend that has one extra nipple. After she found out she was showing us ladies at a party and laughing at it, her husband notices and yelled out from across the room, "Honey, put her away. She doesn't need to be shown off." Serious/weird question. So obviously you showed your friends. So to some degree I imagine that you're comfortable with your body. But in the shame part of your brain, does that extra nipple feel like something you need to hide because it's a taboo equivalent to if you were to expose your breasts? Or is it more like showing off a beauty mark on your forearm? I'm just asking because people make a big deal about someone being topless. But I'm curious if nipple placement makes it inherently less scandalous for you. That I'm ticklish. It started as a gag, claiming I was immune. But she's so adorably gullible that she now believes I can't be tickled. If only she knew the self-restraint I've had to exercise to keep up the charade. Or how bad she is at tickling. Edit, whelp. Top comment. Better hope she never learns my Reddit now XD. What I do is say yay. I definitely feel it. I just don't care while holding myself back with all my strength. That usually kills the mood and they just let go. Yeah, no, I just flail and punch and hyperventilate. That she had lipstick on her teeth during our wedding vows. I remember thinking during that moment, huh. So this is the secret I will take to my grave. That's horrifying. Never, ever let this one slip. And it really wasn't bad. It was like two little smears, and not even visible from more than 3 feet away. But during the vows we were just staring at each other for like 10 minutes, so I noticed it. It's not something you share per se. But I don't understand people who are fine with pooping in front of their spouses. I mean, we haven't been married long. But I can't see a future where I'm fine with pooping in front of anyone. Coming up on 23 years married, and I still haven't done it, and nor do I feel differently about it now than I ever have. I'm also entering my cranky old bastard phase, so I doubt things are going to change much. Hey mister, can I play on your lawn? That I feel like I'll never be as good as the other girls he has dated or ducked. Edit, I didn't think I'd ever get gold. Thank you, kind stranger. He's keeping you around, so you aren't doing too bad. He'd probably give her a 5/7 though. My Reddit username. Duh. This guy gets it. Make a clean account so you can show it to her. I was crushing on him for a whole year before he remembered me existing in high school. I don't need him to start thinking of me as some stalker weirdo cause of that lol. My ex told me that when we got together, and I loved it. I was a deeply insecure person once, and it was great to find out that someone felt that way about me. Because I'd never felt that way about myself before. Same here. My wife was somewhat unhealthily obsessed with me after we first dated and before we got back together, and now we are married. I guess whichever old gypsy woman she went to finally was able to cast a love spell on me. But really, she is awesome. Sad one. The true extent of my abuse as a child. S.O knows some stuff, but not everything that happened to me. Oh, and my duck and chicken nuggets. Nugs, not drugs. Nug Club represent. How I make certain foods. She could probably watch and figure it out. but I think that she likes it when I make some things for her and uses the excuse I never seem to make that as good as you. Yes, we like it when you make things for us, even if we could do it ourselves. Doesn't everyone? My mom's sandwiches are so much better than mine even using the same ingredients. Nice try, wife. How often I still masturbate. My boyfriend would probably feel emasculated if I told him. He already knows I have a higher X drive. I have a much higher drive than my lady, and it makes her insecure. Not me. But I have a cute story to share with y'all. My friend, let's call him Tom, had a huge crush on this girl. Let's call her Dana. Dana was drop dead gorgeous. And I say this as a straight girl, everyone either wanted to date her or be her. Tom was super shy. And he was working up the nerve to ask her out for weeks. He'd been asking me a million times things like what girls liked or where they liked to go. And kept trying to get me to be a wing girl, which was hard because Dana and I hardly knew each other. Well, one day Tom and I are at the park doing something for a triathlon that was happening. And Dana shows up. Tom finally has the nerve to ask her out. He walks up to her and she turns around. Surprise, it isn't Dana. It's her usually quiet, barely seen older sister. Let's call her Rose. And she looks like she's gonna pass out. So Tom gets her into the shade with a bottle of water and some crackers and offers to call a doctor. But she declines. He sits and talks to her for a while. And they agree to meet up again. One thing led to another. And now they are married, and they're the cutest thing I've ever seen. But he won't ever tell her that the reason they met was because he tried to ask out her sister. This is juicy. This is very juicy. I know someone who won't share a bottle of water with their partner. Who sucks some own psych and has sloppy McLeod sessions with them, but won't share a bottle of water. Must not be a hygienic issue. Probably a water jealousy issue. I saw your mouth all over that water and I want nothing to do with that skank water. I will never tell my boyfriend some of the cruel things I have heard someone say about him. They're unfair insults to who he is, and if he ever heard them, I think he'd be anxiety ridden about them for years. Edit. I didn't just sit there and agree with the person who said these things. I don't know who you're dating, but I don't know why your first assumption is that I would do nothing to stand up for him. It doesn't really matter what I said to this one jerk. Again, I did say something at the time. It matters that my boyfriend is not harmed by the guy's ugly comments and that we don't interact with the jerk. Do you tell those people to duck off? If this were the case, they wouldn't be said in front of them. Toothbrush. Oh god. This. I will enthusiastically put my mouth anywhere on my husband's body without a second thought. But if one of us ducks up and grabs the wrong toothbrush, it sticks with me for days. See, my husband will literally lick inside of my asshole, but one time we were staying the night somewhere and he forgot his toothbrush. I offered him mine and he opted to just skip brushing altogether. I beat off in her shampoo before divorcing her. She cheated and blew my savings while I was deployed. Marine? Sounds like a Marine. I should have been. Would have fit in better, but both my granddads were sailors in WW2 Korea and Vietnam, so I went that route. My PMS stash of chocolate covered cherries or my carefully hoarded and rationed Cadbury eggs. I will stab anyone who touches or even breathes on them. I tried the stash. He found it, ate it and called me a squirrel for hiding food. See, I absolutely hate chocolate. So the girlfriend offers me things knowing I won't accept. One day I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I will have half that chocolate. The number of ex-partners, their names, and or frequency of relations. They might not care at first, but man, that information sits with your soul and festers like no other. I agree. My soul told me everything, and every so often it will still pop into my head 2 years later. Been married 13 years. It still bothers me. Obviously the positives outweigh the negatives or I wouldn't have married her. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about it regularly. That I've had a few suicide attempts. Nobody else needs that kind of weight in their life. I don't know you. And I don't know your soul. But if this is something you've struggled with for a long time, it might be good to share. especially if you haven't moved past it completely. I do hope you're in a better place now. And I hope you find someone to talk to about it whenever you feel the need. Be it your so or someone else. You think people you're close to would understand until you tell them. Then they become selfish and only tell you what you should do differently. It's all bullet. My dry rub rib recipe. If she can just make them on her own, then what does she even need me for? Well, except to be able to get the slow cooker down from the high shelf. I suppose. This one hit home. My slow cooker is also on the high shelf. There's a radioactive sauce that I stole from college in a sealed lead-lined box hidden under our bed. I've never told anyone. I probably wouldn't stash a sauce under your bed. Even in a shielded container. Why not in a closet? Or the garage? Basement? Or literally anywhere you don't spend roughly a third of your time laying directly over it? Edit. PS what is it? Maybe she wants kids and he doesn't. The only reason we matched on Tinder is because I swiped right on 20 guys straight, no matter what they looked like, because I was bored. He ended up being one of the 20, and I went on a petty date with him because he isn't the best looking, but was fun to talk to. I didn't think I would actually fall for him, but we ended up hitting it off incredibly well and became official not too long after. What he didn't tell you is that he also swiped 20 times. Probably way more than 20. Make sure to like and subscribe so we can watch together.